Question here in the text. Why does the dog bark at the postman?
Because he can. I know, because the postman comes and leaves and the dog thinks he's done a very successful job by sending him away. So
okay. So the postman doesn't get invited in, and therefore the dog thinks they've done a good job.
Yeah, they've done a good job because the behaviour is reinforced because the postman leaves. The postman doesn't come in and have coffee.
That's a cool one. All right, I like that one. Okay, so what do we do then if we've got a situation where the dog is going, turning into a space cadet when the doorbell rings? How do you train that out, or can you?
An awful lot of these things are down to common sense and control and management. The first thing you do is you put the dog in the kitchen or the back garden or another room. A dog does not need to physically meet someone in order to know who it is. Dogs identify people through smell.
Okay.
They do not need to physically see them and touch them and lick them and jump all over them. So if you put the dog in another room, my rule is for at least 20 minutes. Now, there's a very good reason for that. Number one, it gives the dog time to calm down.
Right.
Number two, it allows the visitor to come into your home and sit down and relax.
And settle themselves.
And number three, if the visitor then decides, so it's at the visitor's discretion whether the dog says hello or not. If the visitor says, oh, God, bring the dog in, I'd love to see the dog, then the dog is the visitor.
Right.
So you've completely changed the dynamic of the greeting.
Haven't you, of what's going on,
and it's also under your control.
Yeah, well, this is something that I picked up myself from you years ago, and it was a good idea, which was that if I go into somebody's house and there is a dog, I ignore the dog.
Completely and utterly ignore it.
Totally ignore it. It works.
It works a treat because the dog is so used to people making a fuss of it that it's kind of blown away by being ignored. And it kind of just takes a few minutes to kind of ponder the situation.
Who are you?
Yeah, and it completely sees you with respect because you're not falling all over it. Dogs actually have much more respect for people who ignore them than people who try and love them.
Lovely. Okay.